The brazen response from the Akhilesh Yadav government to Durga Shakti Nagpal has created outrage across the country, but it has not stopped the outrageous comments that continue to pour in from the UP government. Let's take a look at some of these comments now. We've had Naresh Agarwal of the Samajwadi Party today suggesting that in fact an FIR should be filed against the district magistrate who actually said that Durga, contrary to what was being argued by the UP government, was not part of any demolition drive. In fact, the DM's report has gone so far as to say that there wasn't even a full religious structure that was being brought down. She had simply asked the villagers to either get permission to raise the wall for a mosque or to bring it down. In other words, you have here quite literally and metaphorically Durga taking on the political demons of Uttar Pradesh. How is the Samajwadi Party getting away with this brazen audacity? Let's take you straight now to our panel as we ask whether when it comes to the services, good guys or in this case good girls finish last. Is there a space for an honest bureaucrat in the system? As the story fades from the headlines, will Durga Shakti Nagpal be forgotten or will Durga Shakti gather force? Introducing our guests now from Lucknow tonight, we are joined by Bukul Nawab. He's of course a leader of the Samajwadi Party. Joining us from Pune today is Arun Bhatia. He served as a bureaucrat, also tried his hand at politics. As a bureaucrat, he was transferred 26 times in 26 years. And also joining us now is Kiran Bedi. She's one of our best known police officers, former police officers and commentators, and she's joining us as well now. Let me start with you, Arun Bhatia, before I get the Samajwadi Party to come in. You've seen some of the statements that have come in from the Samajwadi Party. It's leader Naresh Agarwal today saying that if the centre thinks so highly of Durga Shakti, why don't they transfer her from UP back to the centre? Even suggesting that there should be even sterner action against them. The outrage, the public outrage seems to make absolutely no difference to the Samajwadi Party government. Now, you have said when you were a bureaucrat that by definition when you take on corruption, you'll find yourself all alone. Do you believe that Durga Shakti Nagpal is all alone today?
Regarding the comments that you mentioned, ma'am, it's very clear that these are dons. This is don language. This is dadagiri. These are gangsters who rule this country. And these are their comments on honesty. And when these good officers affect their vested interests, this is what they do. They come on the street, they use muscle power, they use bad language, they use threats, they use the system to suppress good officers. That's number one. Number two, yes, a good officer in the IAS or any government service, when he takes on the mafia, he's not only taking on the mafia, he's taking on the people who feed the mafia, who nourish the mafia, who rely on the mafia. That's the political parties. So he's taking on the whole system. He or she is totally alone because she can't go back to the system, to the chief secretary or to the police station and say, hey, look, I've received threatening phone calls and all that. So she is all alone. But the great change is, from the last 10 years to today, is that people like you in the electronic media are giving officers like this protection. In the old days, we used to get show-cause notices, why have you run to the press? There was no protection. The press, the print media is still about 70% controlled by politicians and political families. But the electronic media is what is giving these people support. And I am sure that if we carry on this campaign through the electronic media, this girl will get reinstated one way or another.
Well, at the moment, the outrage that is being articulated through the electronic media, Arun Bhatia, is making no difference to the Samajwadi Party. Their statements are bordering on the bizarre. Actually, they would almost be farcical if they weren't actually so tragic. But before I get in the Samajwadi Party, Kiran Bedi entered this debate. You know, your own tenure was marked by that famous towing away of illegally parked cars, and that included Indira Gandhi's. And you have said that the very next day, or I think a few days after that, you found yourself transferred to Goa. You weren't scared. You managed in a sense to cross that hurdle. Do you agree with Arun Bhatia that today, while the media is changing some part of the discourse, women like Durga Shakti Nagpal are actually alone? The media attention is focused on them, but it's not being able to move the political system.
Politics will not change. Politicians are used to this enslaving the bureaucracy, and in fact they've benefited. In fact, both of them together have created a system which is hurting Durga today. So it is the same associations, the IPS associations, the IS associations, the All India Civil Services have dismantled what they've created over the years, because now it is haunting meritorious, young, determined officers who are coming here to serve. So I think it's a very big challenge for the services today. Therefore, the only two things which are working in the youngsters' favor is the visual media and the judiciary. In fact, these are the two hopes. Visual media is exposing to the absolute dismay of the corrupt politicians and also entrenched bureaucrats. In fact, it's showing a mirror to the entrenched bureaucrats, because this bureaucracy has been created by them. Not only Mr. Bhatia suffered, you've had Khemka in 44 times changed in 44 times in 20 years.